What's up, everyone? So wanted to give a quick reaction and really quick update on the big three of Jamaican sprinting after Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce opened up her 100-meter season running 11.15 seconds. Now, a couple weeks ago, just about 3 or so weeks ago, I did a video kind of talking about the current status of the big three, Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, as well as Shericka Jackson. At that point, only Shericka Jackson had opened up her season, and we had not seen Elaine Thompson-Herah or Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce yet. Now we've seen all three of them open, and I want to kind of give a little status update, as back then we had a lot of concerns in general. The track and field community was kind of questioning what was up with the, essentially the most dominant athletes from Jamaica that we've seen on the women's side in the past decade, right? So first off, Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce just opened up her season today, running 11.15 seconds in the 100-meter dash. Her first race on the track since the Budapest World Championships last year. And if you don't remember, in 2023, Shelly-Ann got injured early on. She had the wild card going to the World Championships, so she didn't have to worry about trials. She opened up her season, I think, in June or July, running 10.8. She eventually got a bronze medal at the World Championships in the 100, then got a silver medal as part of the 4x1. Now, on that 4x1, she apparently did pick up a little bit of an injury, which, she still managed to finish the second leg, but maybe that carried through into 2024. So she started her season significantly late, just today in early June. Now, 11.15 seconds. So what's my take? As y'all know, I try and be as fair and as balanced as possible with my commentary, with my takes, but of course I want to be as honest as possible. On the surface, 11.15 isn't the greatest performance that we might have expected. And I think most people can probably agree with that, right? A lot of people were expecting, or at least predicting, 10.8s, which might have been a little crazy, or like 10.9s. I think a lot of people definitely predicted like 10.9s. In my opinion, I didn't put out any public prediction. I said, in theory, she could run anything from 10.8 to 11.3, and it wouldn't surprise me. 11.15 is not what we might have expected from Shelly-Ann, considering her talent, considering her pedigree, but she is opening up late. This doesn't give me any clear indication that A, she's going to be 100% ready to make the Jamaican team, or B, if she makes the team, she's going to be ready to get on the podium. Why? Well, again, 11.15, it's not that it's crazy. I could see her, if everything was good, she can get down to 10.9, which is what I think it'll take to get onto the Jamaican team in the 100-meter dash. But one thing that gave me a little pause is she had her knee taped up, right? And I'm not reporting or confirming anything. I don't have any insight. I'm just like going based off what I've seen online and conversations. She had her knee taped up, and people speculating that maybe she got surgery early on in the year, which is why she started off her season a little late. But essentially, there's some sort of like concerns. It's the fact that she has some tape on her knee and she's opening up a little bit late, and the fact that she ran 11.15 seconds. So that brings some concerns for me as we look forward to trials. Now, the good thing on the surface is that Jamaican women are not as deep as you might expect when talking about the 100-meter dash, right? Brianna Liston, she's not going to be competing at Jamaican championships. She was dealing with some setbacks coming off of NCAAs. So that's one person who's not going to be there. You do have Shericka Jackson. I think she's going to be, comfortably safe to be able to make the Jamaican team. I'll talk about her in a second. And then you have a couple other women who are in the mix, right? You have Crystal Soley. She's the only other woman outside of Brianna Liston to actually break the 11-second barrier this year. So she's still extremely young, though. But then, I think for the most part, that's it, right? You're not seeing anyone really step up to the plate to quote-unquote replace, the big three in, Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Shericka Jackson. So essentially, it's pretty wide open when talking about who's going to make the Jamaican team in the 100-meter dash. So that does give a little bit of hope for Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce, but just my personal opinion, feel free to criticize me, but I'm not confident right now in Shelly, really making the 100-meter team, right? And it's a little strange to say. She's made every single team since 2008, right? And you can even argue back to 2007, she didn't make the individual team, but was part of the relay. So Shelly has been part of Jamaican track and field and part of global track and field for over almost 2 decades at this point, which is absolutely insane. But 11.15, it doesn't give me that strong confidence. And definitely, let's say she makes a team. At that point, it's going to be extremely hard to get on the podium. Yes, she'll have more time, she'll have more preparation, but when you're talking about Julian Alfred already running 10.7, you're talking about Shakira Richardson already running 10.8, you're talking about Shericka Jackson, right? She's probably the, front runner for the Jamaican women in 100 right now. So it's very, very tough to see Shelly-Ann get on the podium, but even first, make the Jamaican team. Now, I'm not dismissing it. I'm not saying she's not going to make the team at all, but just considering 11.1, considering her knee taped up, considering all those factors, I can't make a prediction on, you know, if she's going to make the team. But again, feel free to criticize me. Not going to kind of harp onto it. I'm just trying to be honest, give my personal opinion. Now let's talk about Elaine Thompson-Herah. Last time when I made that Big 3 video, she hadn't opened up her season yet. Since then, she ran 11.3 seconds at Prefontaine, and then she ran 11.4 seconds at the New York Grand Prix. Now, after Prefontaine, I did say that, you know, she's just getting started. There's, you know, potential for her to make the team, kind of harping on the same, you know, note that I just gave now, where the Jamaican women are not extremely deep. So it's really wide open, in my opinion, behind Shericka Jackson. But the New York Grand Prix, completely different story. There, she actually fell to the track right after the race, and she was grabbing the back of her, you know, back of her foot, and essentially looked like her Achilles. And she had to be carried off the track, and that was really, really devastating to see. Again, because someone like Elaine Thompson-Herah, we've been seeing her making essentially every single team since 2015. Yes, she's dealt with injuries, but to see her kind of at this stage of her career, you know, potentially getting back into things, it was really, really tough. Now, we know that she's, you know, headed off to Germany, or she's currently in Germany getting treatment by one of the famous doctors out there to make sure she's prepared for trials. But, you know, her status is still unknown. And in my opinion, I think it's, you know, Elaine is not, it's not it right now, right? We only have a week and a half or 2 weeks before Jamaican Championships. She just got injured in New York City. She's only been running 11.3, 11.4, right? That doesn't indicate that she's really going to be able to make the team. And even though everything is really wide open when talking about the 100-meter dash for Jamaica, you have to see someone get into at least 11.1, like we just saw with Shelly, or at least 10.9. When you have athletes like, you know, Shericka Jackson, when you have Soli, when you have Lene Thomas, right? There's a couple women who are in that mix for the 100-meter dash for Jamaica. And if we're talking about Elaine is injured and she's not even in that realm of, you know, sub 11, I don't think it's happening. It hurts me to kind of say that, but just, you know, looking at reality, looking at the landscape of what we've seen, it's going to be tough. So that's Elaine Thompson-Herah. And then you have Shericka Jackson. Now, I think she had run one 200-meter race when I did make that Big 3 video. She ran 22.8 in Rabat. She then followed that up and ran 22.9 in Oslo, which was a huge step back. And I don't think even Shericka kind of expected that performance. But she did follow up, I think, at the Stockholm Diamond League and managed to run 22.6 into a very strong headwind. So that gave a lot more confidence in terms of, you know, at least my personal opinion on her potential to be ready for trials. She had also run 11.03, I think, earlier in the season. That was her first race of the season. Now, it's obvious that, you know, she maybe had been dealing with something. Again, I'm not reporting. I don't have inside info or anything like that. But for her to start her season a little bit late, she didn't run indoors for the first time, you know, in her career this year. So obviously there's been something that she maybe had been dealing with, setbacks or personal issues, whatever it may be. But I do think that Shericka Jackson is on pace, and she's probably the front runner when talking about the 100 and the 200 for the Jamaican team. Very, very comfortable, I think, for the most part, that she's going to be. But that's kind of the status of the Big 3 right now. Shericka Jackson, I think she's comfortable. Elaine Thompson-Herah, I unfortunately don't think it's going to happen at trials. And then Shelly-Ann Fraser Pryce, this wasn't the opener that I think most people probably expected. I might get flack for it, but it's kind of tough when a lot of people kind of commentate and say, yes, we expected, you know, a faster time, whether it's a 10.8 or a 10.9, but then they, you know, try and justify that, like, okay, no, this was easy. I mean, yes, it was easy, quote unquote, but, you know, taking all these things into consideration, she had some tape on her knee. She's starting significantly later. She has to compete at Olympic trials, right? We only are a week and a half, 2 weeks away, right? So there's a lot of factors that go into you know, not justifying her making the team potentially, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Did you think that this is a really great opener? Did you think it was just kind of easy? Or do you think that, you know, Shelly is not going to be able to make the team? I don't know. What do you think about Elaine? What do you think about Shericka? It's probably going to be my last video on, you know, the Jamaicans before, like, I'd probably do a preview for the Jamaican trials and who's going to make the team. But heading to USA's Olympic trials, that's going to be the focus for the next couple, essentially, weeks, right? 2 weeks at this point. Be sure to check out the Citius Mag podcast. Me and Chris Chavez are going to be back online on Monday tomorrow to, you know, really preview and, you know, look forward to the Olympic trials. And then, of course, we're going to be on the ground now. But go in the comments. Let me know. Feel free to criticize me. I'm trying to be as honest as possible, and this is just my opinion. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, y'all.